Welcome to Girl Meets Screen. My name's Norma, your host of Whatever, and today we're talking Love Island USA, Season 7, Episode 28. Firstly, I want to say, I know I probably seemed pretty hot in that last review, and I was. I'm not going to hold you. But I just want to clarify, right? This channel, that's the vibe. Like, I always say in my Love is Blind videos, we don't actually know these people. I'm going based off what we're seeing on the show. If I see otherwise, opinions can change, etc. All the good stuff, right? All the good stuff. Like, I make these videos like if I'm talking to my friends. Like, literally, I've gone the last 2 episodes to watch at my brother's house with my sister-in-law, and I'm just like candidly talking, and then I get on here and I do that with you guys. Like, it's just literally like talking to my friends about what I thought about the show. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily like final thoughts about these people, and like, it's none of that, right? I'm not hating. I'm not like thinking about them in my sleep, right? Like, I make the video and I move on until the next episode. Like, it's not that deep. But I do be looking hyped in the videos because that's what I do. I love TV, like movies, shows, Grays. I'm invested. I'm like, fucking Meredith, how dare she? Like, I'm going off, even on a fictional character. You know, like, that's just how I do. But I just want to put that out there because maybe you haven't seen my Love is Blind videos and you're like, what's wrong with this girl? But I'm just having fun talking to my friends. Hi, friends. Jumping into this episode, we've got Iris talking about TJ and just how, like, she was finally having fun, yada, yada, yada. Like, what I did like was she wasn't overly dramatic like Hannah. I mean, Hannah really could have felt something for Charlie, who knows? But anyways, she wasn't overly dramatic. And it felt like genuine. It wasn't like, I'm gonna miss him so much, and then we see her later talking to Papaya. She was like, I was finally having fun, like we were connecting, like it's like something was building and then it was just kind of taken away. We hear like Chris and I think also Nick mentioning like, oh, if it was a real connection, like they would have she would have left with him, like stuff like that. But I think it's just, it was the beginning of something, so it's not necessarily something that she would like stake her whole self on, you know. Clark and Taylor also have a conversation about the game, and Taylor sweetly is like apologizing that she kind of got dragged into it with him, and she understands. I feel like she understood it from the beginning. She's like, I definitely shouldn't have been rated low, but somebody had to be. She was a really good sport about it, really understanding, and I'm glad that that's like the type of woman that she is. I would hate to see someone feeling torn down by something that's like, it's really has nothing to do with her. It's just like the name of the game, I guess. Shelly and Ace talk about how sure they are in themselves and how they know themselves, and so they don't care, but they do. I'm sorry. It's giving you care. It's giving you care. America's a lot of people though, so we get it. But yeah, they're trying to grapple with the fact that they were at the bottom, especially Ace. Ace thought his strategy was working, and I feel like if I went back to watch my videos, at some point I probably said that. Like, I think this man really thinks he's doing it. Now that Amaya has been voted the people's princess, we have Zach with a K trying to come up in here acting like she's the sweetest girl, like hella dope, love her. Sir, you were just saying you didn't even want to kiss her. Get out of my face with that. Get out of my face with that. I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. How dare you? Literally though, like, Zach, go away. For real. Because what is he on? I don't know, man. It's looking rough for Zach, but we'll see. Alandria is talking about how hurt she was by Sierra standing behind Taylor. She's talking to Iris in the makeup room. And then Sierra comes in, at least that's how it's edited to look. And it's like, I'm sorry if my choosing Tay-Tay made you uncomfy. Sierra does not give a fuck about these women or anything, really. She gets on my nerves. She's like, number one. Number one for me on my hit list. Number one. Because first of all, for you to know, obviously it's going to affect her. You're her friend. You're one of her closest friends in here. And you have the nerve to be like, Tay-Tay, uncomfy. What do you think this is? Shorty is legitimately mad that you chose Taylor. What she feels this man has done to her as her friend. You come up in here talking about, I'm sorry if choosing Tay-Tay made you uncomfy. I just knew it would devastate Nick. Do you think that she cares? Do you think that Alandria cares that Nick is devastated? Alandria, the way you better put your foot on that girl's neck and take Nick from her, do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do, Alandria. I'm kind of mixing it up. Well, I didn't like put the divide, but like they're talking the night before and like the next morning. But We also have Pepe and Iris talking, and they're essentially just kind of connecting on their partners leaving. We see a little moment the night before where Iris is like, I'm alone in the bed again. And he's like, you want to come to mine? The way I would have jumped if I was Iris, the way I would have been like, cannonball. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding when I'm not kidding. I would have took him up on the offer real smoothly, real coolly. Obviously, we see something forming with these two. And unfortunately, I do have to agree that Pepe has a type. We get a conversation with Chris and Huda, and Chris is just sad about, like, processing what will be next. Like, you know, he's thinking about whether, I guess he had a dream about basketball. And so he's thinking about having to hang it up, or like, you know, how like he can't do two things at once when he's gone 6-9 months at a time. And you know, Huda's like, I don't think you have to give it up. I think like doing what you love is so important. And I'm like, I get where she's going with it, because I was that girl. Don't do it. Unfortunately, in this specific situation, he cannot. And he needs to like keep that journey on his own, you know, like sure, have a girlfriend, like, but don't like settle down type decisions. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't do that to nobody. He needs to live this dream, and then once he's done with that dream, he can figure out what's next. Unless he's like taking his family with him, taking his girl with him, like unless everyone is being incorporated in the dream. You know what I'm saying? But that's just me. So I guess maybe it is possible. I take it back. Maybe that's what Huda means. Hopefully that's what she means, and she's clear about that if they do discuss further or make it any further than the show. However, it was really sweet. Huda was really sweet to Chris, really understanding, really uplifting, really motivating, and we love that for him and her. We love it. We do. Amaya Papaya pulls Clark for a chat just to kind of be like, I know your girls left. Just want to say I'm here for you. I know last night was rough. Like, just understand that, like, you know, be confident in who you are. Know that that was not about you. Like, all the good stuff. And we love Amaya for that. The people's freaking princess, guys. And then we have Bryan and Nick talking while they're working out. And Bryan is talking about her Amaya Papaya. And he's essentially like, all the things the guys see as negatives, I see as positives. You know, in our culture, that's just how it is. And it, like, I love that. And this is why sometimes I'm all for, like, be with who you love regardless of race, of anything else. Love is love. Be with who you love. Be happy in life. Like, it's too short. It's too unpredictable to not do that. However, we all know that sometimes culturally, you being with someone of your culture just makes sense. Same thing as, like, with religion, where it's just, like, easier with the same religion or the same culture, like, unless you have a partner who's willing to put the work in to understand, and none of these guys have wanted to do that for her. And so I like that. Because he's from the culture, Amaya is not too much. Because that's the thing I've been struggling with watching the whole time, is like, she's not even like doing anything crazy. Like, I don't understand why these guys are so like, oh my God, other than how like excited she is and loud she is. And honestly, I can low-key relate on that, because I'm loud and I get told to be quiet, even by my own family. I love that Bryan was like defending her and speaking highly of her before she became the people's princess, or before the villa became aware that she was people's princess. You know, he was defending her in the male challenge, and that was before the votes and before everyone saw it. So I feel somewhat confident that there is a genuine liking from his part. I hope. Moving into our challenge for the episode, it's the crash out challenge, and basically it's like a little obstacle course type of thing. All the guys are going and like picking, you know, people, whatever. And so basically it starts off with 2 doors with like this or that, right? It's like this or that, and you pick. And so you pick a wing woman or wing man to run through. One of the doors like breaks into a ball pit, the other one doesn't. You just kind of bounce back onto like a trampoline runway situation. After that, it's one of those like I don't even know what you call them, but you're like kind of jumping on these individual like pads, and around the pads it's just like slime, like a pool of slime that you fall into if you don't make it to each pad. And then you have all the islanders like squeezing the slime out of little like shooters at you, little guns and stuff. And then the last thing, it's like a little ball pit that you pick someone to kiss in the ball pit. So for fun, as if it's at all important, we'll go through of who picked who. There's a couple that I don't remember, so there's a couple that aren't 100% certainty for the wing woman, wingman portion of the evening. Nick goes first. He picks Alandria as his wing woman, I'm pretty sure. And they go, he falls through into the pit, Alandria doesn't. And of course, he picks Sierra to kiss. Shocking. Who knew? Next up is Taylor. He, of course, picks Ace. And I actually loved their little, like, it was a very bro moment. Something you've probably seen men in your life do. But they do the whole, like, wow, huh. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? And then they run. I think Taylor falls through. Ace doesn't. And then, of course, Taylor picks Clark to kiss. Shocker there. No, once again. Their kiss was so awkward. It's so funny to see them kiss because it's so awkward. And I'm realizing, I think I want to say both, but definitely Clark. But I think both of them aren't public kissers. Like, I think that's probably why Taylor has struggled a lot with, although with Alandria, I'm sorry. Like, I stand by, it was clear that he just wasn't into her in the way he was kissing her. But in general, you can see that when he, like, there's still an awkwardness where it's like, I don't really want to be doing all of that. You know, like, because they don't really be, like, going in like the other couples. So yeah, it was like awkward but cute. Next up we have Ace, and I believe he picks Taylor again, like as his wingman, and then he goes through, and then he picks Shelly to kiss, of course, of course. Next up we have Zach's weirdo self. He picks Amaya as his wingwoman. He's basically like, no matter what, like we're here, like locked in, blah, blah, blah. Friends, whatever the fuck he's trying. I'm confused. Because it's like he's trying to say friends, but then it's also like, gotta keep her as my connection. She's the people's princess. I'm trying to win the money type thing. I don't know what Zach is doing and what's going on with him. Because then they run through. I think he falls through and then she comes around. And I guess what they weren't showing with the first few is that the person goes to the ball pit and then the other person jumps into the ball pit after them. Like the person who just hit a wall. So she jumps in after him. And then he says like, this is to make up for something or like just to thing. I don't know. He kisses her. He kisses her. And I'm like, what the fuck? Are you good? Like, what are you doing? And so he goes through, and then he chooses Alandria to kiss. Alandria's like, he ain't gonna kiss me, like, outside of a challenge. And that's hilarious to me. Also, I forgot to mention, in between the whole, like, falling into slime thing and the kissing ball pit, they hit themselves in the face with pie. And why did I just hit myself in the face with my hand? They hit themselves with the face with pie, and before they do it, they have to say, like, their biggest crash out moment or some shit like that. So back real quick, I think Nick says he crashed out when he thought he was leaving the villa. Taylor says, I don't remember what Taylor said. When his boy was leaving the villa, maybe? No, Taylor says, I cannot remember. I don't remember. Ace, I think, says when Nick was leaving the villa. Zach says when his boy Austin left, I think, which why, but okay. Next up, Chris chooses Bryan. Feels like he can tell her anything. They go, he falls through. Of course, he picks Vida to kiss. I don't remember what he says he crashes out about. Pepe also picks Bryan, I think, as his wingman. I don't remember who he picks, if I'm being honest. They go through, he picks Iris to kiss, and it's a good kiss. It's looking good for them, guys. It is. Elin goes up. He picks Sierra as his wingwoman. He says, she really knew me at Casa, so it's giving wingwoman vibes. They go through, and then he picks Iris to kiss. Elin, I feel bad for him because he's going home. And he keeps picking people who, like, are clearly going to pick the other person. Like, he's putting him in these triangles that he doesn't stand a chance in. Because, like, the Sierra one, you saw what her and Nick had going. Like, then again, the way Nick was acting, had there been a Casa girl in the villa that he enjoyed, that might have turned out differently. I will say that. And lastly, we have Bryan. He picks Vida. He said, Vida, my girl, my wing woman. They go through. They're so cute because they're, like, talking. Like, she gets hit by the wall really hard, and she's like, yeah, and he's like, oh yeah, like, I didn't even think about, like, that's what was happening to you on the other side. Like, it was giving brother sister, but also not. I don't know, they could have made sense in an alternate universe. Like, had Chris or Shelly ended up together somehow, like, they could have made sense, but that's besides the point. I really enjoyed them. Then Bryan picks Amaya to kiss. It's hot, it's heavy, we're loving it. I am so excited, but we're gonna work. Hold on. Everybody calm down. Everybody breathe. Everybody calm down. Everybody breathe. It's okay. After the challenge, right? Everybody gets dressed. We're hanging out. Zach pulls Amaya for a chat, and baby, Amaya is working her little moo dress, her little moo adjacent dress. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I'm like, girl, what is she wearing? But also, I saw a comment, and I was like, yeah, she's giving very much like you're watching a family member walking around her house on TV. Like, I love that she was just like chilling in her moo dress, comfy. He is apologizing for the challenge, talking about, you know, it was a challenge, and so I was like hyping up the challenge, and I now realize I should. It's like, sir, you watched her cry with what Ace said, then you watched her cry with what Austin said, and then you decided to pile on because of a challenge. Like, what are you talking? Are you good? Are you good? I feel like he was trying to see if he could save it. But yeah, then Amaya apologizes for cussing at him. She's so cute though, because she's crying about it. And like, how it's the people's princess. That's all we could keep saying about that. She says romantic feelings are gone, but that they're cool and everything's good. Shelly pulls Chris to clear the air. And he basically is like, you know, I saw you picked Ace, so I just assumed that you were like ending us. Like, he was like, I just assumed you were picking him and just not telling me. So I moved in my thing with Huda. And she goes, wow, perspective is everything. Because like, had we just had that conversation earlier, we could have fixed things. But now it's like, you're with your connection, I'm with mine, you know, and I guess like that's that. Like, girl, what are you talking about? Please go away. Please go away. For real. That just reminded me that I totally forgot. Shelly makes breakfast for Ace, and they talk about everything, and she basically lets Ace know, like, I'm done exploring, I'm ready to close off. And he just smiles at her. I don't know if he says anything about it and they just don't show it, but he's just smiling at her and like, thanks for telling me type shit. It felt very much like I love you and someone being like, thanks. Iris and Pepe have another chat, and they're kind of just talking about how, well, Iris mostly is saying how she never considered a connection with Pepe because they came in together as bombshells. And so obviously that's not really considered. Like, the bombshells don't usually consider each other, you know? But I thought it was hilarious too in the challenge when he says he wants to kiss her. He's like, my bombshell sister. And I was like, don't do that. I don't think we should call someone our sister before kissing. But yeah, they're just talking about like being excited to see where it goes. Lastly, and certainly not leastly, we have Amaya and Brian. They go to the speakeasy and they're chatting and flirting and giggling, and Amaya's all giggly and smiley. Now, the one thing that did make me sad the whole time, she was sitting so far from Brian and trying so hard to be reserved. And he's like, and he literally is like, I want you to be yourself. Like, be you. What they saw as a negative, I see as a positive. Like, I don't need you to do anything differently. I need you to be you. And low-key, I loved it because that, like, he wanted her to, like, go kiss him and, like, go touch him. But you could just see she was still so timid. Like, even when she would touch his arm, it was, like, awkward a little bit. And so they're just, like, kind of giggling. And she's, like, giggling and blushing at him. And then eventually he's like, come here. And then they're kissing. They're kissing. And she's doing that whole lean over thing she does, but eventually she ends up on his lap. I think we all know that kiss was hot and heavy. That kiss was hot and heavy, and we love them. Like I mentioned, he clearly liked her even before he knew she was the people's princess. So there is some level of genuineness there, and I really hope we get to like truly see them explore each other next episode. Don't make me wait. Don't make me wait 2-3 episodes. They are definitely recoupling, and Bryan, stick with it, okay? That's my advice for Bryan, even though he's not saying this. Anyways, that was it for this episode. Like the video if you enjoyed. Comment down below. What do we think of these potential pairings? Because I'm loving Bryan and Amaya. I'm not minding Iris and Pepe at all. Huda and Chris, they work in it. Everybody else can go. I'm sad though, because I think Elan's gonna go home. Alandria might pick Elan instead of Zach. We'll see. Anywho, subscribe for more content like this, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.